Good afternoon and welcome to the 10 Big Steps to Prevent Falls webinar. My name is Tia Gully and I am the Falls Prevention Program Administrator with the Ohio Department of Aging. We'd like to thank you for joining us and for using Falls Prevention Awareness Week to learn more about how you can reduce your risk of falls, as well as how you can help some of your loved ones reduce their risk of falls as well. 10 Big Steps to Prevent Falls is a collaboration between the Ohio Department of Aging's Steady You initiative and the Ohio Department of Health's Older Adult Falls Prevention Coalition. The webinars are being made available with contributions from the Holmes County General Health District, Ohio Northern University, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, and Select Home Care. I hope you were able to join us yesterday for our webinar where we had Carrie McQueen talk to us about Big Steps number 3 and 4, where we learned more about the importance of exercise and fall prevention. So if you missed that webinar, you're in luck. It was recorded and it is on the Steady You website. So be sure to go and check that out. Today's webinar is going to be presented by Dr. Ann Smith from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. She will be talking to you all this afternoon about how to fall-proof your home. So throughout the presentation, we encourage you to use the question box there on your right side of your panel to ask any questions you may have or any comments you have. As we go through the presentation, we'll stop and we'll address any of those questions throughout the presentation. So join me in welcoming Dr. Ann Smith. Ann?
Thank you, Tia. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Welcome everyone to the first full day of fall. This is actually Fall Prevention Awareness Day, and over the years it's had some funny connotations such as don't fall into fall, but hopefully today as we go through the agenda, I'll give you some helpful tips of how to fall-proof your home. A little bit about me, as Tia indicated, I am the Injury Prevention Program Manager at the OSU Wexner Medical Center, and part of my role is to try to reduce our emergency room admissions as a result of preventable injuries. And most falls truly are preventable by the things we do. I'm also the Central Ohio Think First Chapter Director, and I'm a nurse practitioner, so I get to see a lot of different patients, and if I can prevent a fall from happening and having to see you in the trauma department, that's what I'm going to do. A couple of disclosures I guess I wanted to hit. OSU does subscribe to, it's called Think First to Prevent Falls, and I'm also Matter of Balance certified, so although I'm not going to talk specifically about either one of those programs, those things might, just through my discussion, because I do so much of it, might come up. So I'm going to try to avoid using specific brand names or specific companies, but I wanted to let you know that as well. As many of you probably are aware, falls are the #1 cause of injuries and deaths among those age 65 and older. 1 in 4 people age 65 and older will fall each year, which is really a scary stat to me. 29 million falls occur annually, resulting in 3 million emergency room visits, 800,000 hospital visits, and 28,000 deaths. So today, what I'm going to go through is try to look at each area of your home. Please, as we go through each area, ask questions. At the end, there's also a checklist for you to go through your home and to look at each area and try to make modifications as you go. I'm also going to try to share, I have 5 different stories here of 5 different falls that have happened to, 3 of them actually happened to me, falls and falls related activities just since being home here in quarantine. So we'll go through those. So we're going to start off by looking at things throughout the home, things you can change, specifically the stairs, since a lot of the falls do happen on the stairs, the bathroom, your bedroom, your kitchen, some general tips. And if you want to share things that have worked for you, oftentimes I find through discussions with people out in the community. I hear great ideas of how to prevent falls that they're implementing. And then there'll be a link of where we go from here and to get you more information. So let's begin here throughout the home. Tia, you can change the slide. So the first thing are throw rugs. And either people love throw rugs or they hate throw rugs. And if you're one of the ones that have throw rugs pretty much in every room, sometimes they do serve a purpose, but they are big time trip hazards. If you must have a throw rug, make sure that they have a slip resistant backing, that they have rubber matting underneath them, or you can even use double-faced adhesive carpet tape to secure them. Ideally, you're going to remove them, get rid of them, but if you're one that has to, make sure they're secure. Replace or remove carpet that is torn or has turned up edges. Avoid thick carpet, and the reason you do that is shoes may catch on these and cause you to stumble and fall. And carpet that is torn or turned up, it's if you can't afford to replace them, you can either tape it down with a good adhesive tape or tack it down so it doesn't become a trip hazard. You also want to move furniture, or if you're unable to move furniture, ask a family member or a friend, or if you're living at a retirement community, asking the maintenance person to help you move the furniture around in your home or your apartment so that the pathways aren't blocked. Also consider, are all floors even? Perhaps your kitchen area is some sort of, a linoleum, a tile, a ceramic, and you might be moving into your family room area that may be carpeted. Are the transitions smooth? Are the areas free of clutter, free from paper, mail, clothes, shoes? When you drop things, do you pick them up readily? Oops, I'll go back, I'll pick that up later, and then you forget about it, and then in the middle of the night it becomes a trip hazard for you. Try to get in the habit of, if you drop something, you pick it up right away. If it's difficult for you to pick up things off the floor, possibly purchasing a reacher. It's a handheld device where you can actually grab hold of things, and you can pick up things as small as like a quarter or a penny that you drop on the floor. You can pick up a piece of paper with it, making sure those things are picked up. You clean up spills right away. Maybe you're cooking and you spill some water, making sure those are cleaned up immediately so you don't forget and then slide. Are areas particularly slippery, wet? Do you use wax? Making sure those areas are safer. Okay, Tia. Other things to consider are lighting. Lighting plays such a huge role in falls and falls prevention. If you can't see it, you don't even know it's there. So making sure you have good lighting throughout your home. Making sure the wattage of the light bulb is appropriate. Are switches accessible upon entering a room? If you're one that likes to come in through your garage, is the light switch across the room? Making sure you have a light switch installed right when you walk into a room, or in your bedroom, is the light switch across the room? Making sure the light switch is right where you can get to it. Is it also available where you can get to it at night? Do you have a light on your nightstand that you can turn on so that you're not trying to stumble to the bathroom in the dark? They actually make switches that are glow in the dark, and they actually have some lights that you can, do the clap and they will turn on. So looking at different options, different things that are available, go to your local hardware store and see what options you can do to improve the lighting throughout your home. Electrical cords. Those are one of my pet peeves. Really trying to tuck the electrical cords along a wall. You can hide them under the carpet. You can coil them along the walls. You can tape them. Electrical cords, oftentimes you need them, but if you can put them out of the way. Holidays, think about your holiday plans, you know. If you have, I don't know, special Halloween decorations or special Christmas decorations, making sure those two are also tucked away. Other cords that sometimes get in the way are telephone cords. If you have, you know, your landline still, having that phone strung across the room so it's next to you in your chair in case you do fall is important. But if you can have that so that the cord's tucked in, so in case you have to go to the bathroom, you don't trip over the cord on the way to the bathroom. You also want to arrange the furniture, if at all possible, so that you don't need to have extension cords. I've been in homes where I've done a home visit and there are extension cords all over the place. You know, sometimes having a strip, an electrical strip, where you can plug multiple things into it and then tuck it against the wall will also be of benefit to you. Let's see, using your cane or your walker rather than furniture gives you much more support. We call people that use the furniture walkers, just like it sounds, but what happens is they get so dependent on walking from this chair to the couch to maybe this ledge, and if something gets misplaced or something gets pushed or it's just out of place a little bit, they end up falling. So using your prescribed walker or your cane is very important, and having these things checked out by your occupational therapist and physical therapist to make sure you have things at the right height, that you're using things properly, that you actually know how to use it, how to go up and down the steps with the device. I think I'm going to stop here about just general things throughout the home and see if you have any questions about just general things within the home.
I'll give it a couple seconds to see if anyone wants to type a question into the question box. We don't have any questions just yet.
Okay, then
So
I'll
again,
move on.
yeah, if you have any questions, again, you can type them into the question box there on your right-hand panel, and we'll take a couple more steps throughout the presentation so Ann can address them.
Okay, let's move on to stairs. Stairs. You want to be sure that you have sturdy handrails mounted, and ideally you have two. For me, I like to hold on to the handrail with my left hand, and I carry like my laundry basket down in my right hand on my hip. So as I'm going down the steps, I always have my left hand free to hold on to the railing. So I need the rail on both sides, so when I'm coming up with my laundry basket, it's still on my left-hand side. Making sure it's sturdy. Think about creative ways to carry things. I've heard of so many different ways. You know, if you can't carry a laundry basket up and down the steps, but your laundry is downstairs, how are you going to get it down? I've heard of people, you know, dragging a belt behind them. I've heard, you know, people getting laundry chutes installed in their home so they don't actually have to carry things up and down the steps. You want to try to keep the steps free of clutter. I know I'm one that, oh, this needs to go upstairs, but I'm just going to put it here on the step, and next time I go upstairs, I'll take it up so I don't have to make an extra trip. Well, sometimes I end up in a hurry, or I have that laundry basket and then those things are still on the steps that become a trip hazard. So try to keep the stairs clear. Try to have a light switch and a light both at the top and the bottom of the steps. If you only have it at one or the other, if you're going down the steps and the light switch is at the bottom, it really doesn't do you much good. Also try to have an actual light at the top and at the bottom of the steps. Ideally, the lighting is such that there are no shadows and no glare. To improve the visibility of the steps, also, you can have little lights or electrical outlets installed along the side of the stairwell so that like each step is illuminated. If you can afford that, that's a possibility. We just had, one of the stories I wanted to share, we just had hardwood floors installed in our bedroom and on the stairs. And we've always had carpets on the stairs. Well, needless to say, it's a whole new ball game with the hardwood floors. They're much more slippery. And actually, my 18-year-old daughter was in a hurry, went running down the steps in her socks and slipped down the last 4 steps. She wasn't hurt, but think about the footwear that you have on the steps and things that might make it more slippery. We could have had a runner installed. If you do have a runner, making sure it's a non-skid, that it's well secured at the top and the bottom. Or you can also have like non-skid surfaces applied to the stairs to prevent sliding. Ideally, no socks, no slippers, no smooth-soled shoes. Ideally, you want those sturdy, secure, like a tennis shoe or a boot or something that's secure that's going to help you go up and down the steps. The handrails should actually extend beyond the top and the bottom of the steps, so it goes all the way through so that you aren't trying to navigate that top step or that bottom step without a handrail. You might want to even examine the steps. Are they the same size? Are they overly tall, overly narrow? Are they broken? Are they the same size? If those are things that can be altered, it's important to do that to prevent the falls. You might even paint a bright colored line on the edge of the step so that each step is more easily seen. And it's hard for me not just to talk, I'm just supposed to talk about fall-proofing your home, but so many things impact falls. So if you have poor vision, I wanted to encourage you to go get a vision check so that you can actually see the different depths. The picture on the slide, I think, does a really good job of highlighting where you have the black non-skid surface and then you have the bright yellow line. Having your feet examined each year by a physician or a podiatrist. If you're diabetic or have hypertension, you might have some neuropathies and not be able to feel as well in your feet. Your hearing might be going bad. So many different things impact your balance. Are you well hydrated? Having a medication review, orthostatic hypertension, making the position changes, making sure you're hydrated, making sure you're taking vitamin D. These are all things that impact your ability to go up and down the steps and to do it safely. Any questions about stairs before I move on to the bathroom?
Doesn't look like we have any questions, Ann.
Okay. I guess I was mostly talking about like inside steps, but also think about any steps you have going in and out of your home. Adding a handrail, even if you have 1 or 2 steps, coming in and out of your garage or in and out your front door, adding a handrail could be beneficial there as well. So we'll move on to the bathroom. Okay, in the bathroom, lots of falls happen here as well, just because of the water and things get slippery. If possible, you want to place non-skid decals or a mat within the tub or the shower to prevent slipping. Consider installing grab bars around the toilet, around the shower, bathtub. Wanted to really reinforce here that you want somebody to professionally install or have somebody that knows what they're doing install these grab bars actually into the stud. So often people will grab the handle of the shower door or the towel rack, and I mean, a towel rack is there to hold a towel, not to hold you or me up as we're getting in and out of the shower. It's not designed to do that. So making sure that they're secure. You know, sometimes depending on the area, I know this is going out all over the state of Ohio. Some fire departments will do this, your local hardware, hiring the local handyman. Sometimes the larger stores where you purchase it, they'll come out and install them for you as well. So making sure they're installed properly. If you have difficulty getting up and down out of the toilet or out of a bathtub, consider using a tub seat or a shower chair. It's a way to have it secured in the shower, having a safe place to sit. The elevated toilet seat is an easy way to help you get on and off the toilet. Also consider leaving your bathroom door unlocked. If you do happen to fall within the bathroom and the door is locked, if your spouse or a family member hears you fall, they can't get to you to help you. So still want your privacy. If you feel comfortable having it unlocked or having it so that it can be unlocked from either side. I'm an advocate big time to taking your cell phone with you wherever you go, having it there, in the bathroom with you in case you do fall. If you live alone, being able to access that cell phone to call 911, I think is really important. Some people feel strongly about having the medical alarm devices. Most of those, come with a cost. Some are monitored, some are not. Some only work within the home. Some go with you as you go out and about. So if you go to like the grocery store and you fall in the parking lot, they know where you are. That's something else to consider if you feel the need. If that makes you feel more comfortable, you push the button and you say, you've fallen, you can't get up, and somebody will come and help you. Keeping emergency numbers near your phones is also important as well. If you're at a facility, at a retirement community, what is the front desk number in case you do need to call or to notify them that you've fallen or that you've called 911 so that they can bring the squad people up to your room. I think that's it for now in the bathroom. Any questions about the bathroom?
Don't think we have any questions yet.
Okay, let's go into the bedroom. And bedroom becomes an issue oftentimes when you wake up at the night, and usually it's because you have to go to the bathroom and you're doing a mad dash to get to the bathroom before you're incontinent. So avoiding any long nightgowns or robes or things that you can get twisted or tangled up in, even excess blankets or covers or sheets. Sometimes you can get your feet tangled up and fall out of bed. So just take all of that into consideration about what you have on and how your bed itself is even set up. Having shoes, sturdy shoes readily available, not your flip-flops, ideally not your slippers. Having a good sturdy shoe right there at the bedside, ready to go, that you can quickly put on to go to the bathroom. If you have the option, taking that minute or two to sit on the side of the bed and to, if you're having, it's called orthostatic hypotension. It's when you quickly change from sitting or from lying to sitting or sitting to standing, your blood pressure sometimes will lower, and it takes just a few minutes sometimes for it to adjust. So as you're sitting up, if you can take that minute or two to sit there on the side of the bed, get your bearings straight, get your shoes on, and then take off for the bathroom. That's helpful as well. Wearing shoes or slippers that, as I said, that are secure. Having lighting available, if at all possible. If you have a night light, or if there's a street light that's out that provides enough lighting in the room, or having that light on your nightstand that you can turn on. So, I don't know, maybe you left a dog toy out in the middle of the aisleway and you forgot about it. You don't want to trip over those things on your way to the bathroom. Having something sturdy next to the bed to help you get up sometimes can be a benefit. If you have a strong nightstand that's secure, using that to push up or pull up on could help. You don't want to use anything that has any casters or anything wheels that'll roll. If you do use a walker or a cane, having that readily available right there next to your bed, not that you have to walk a few feet to get to it, having it right there at your bed so that it's ready to go. And other things in your bedroom, maybe you have, I don't know, a chair that you like to sit on to get dressed or undressed in. If you have armrests on the chair, it makes it easier for you to push up, to stand up or sit down. Having a high back can be of benefit. Making sure it's secured in. There's nothing like trying to stand up and you push on the chair or the chair slides forward and you fall forward. Making sure maybe it's up against the wall so it won't slide. Taking into consideration the softness of the furniture is also important. I'm sure you've had the occasion where you've sat down in a couch and you just kind of get engulfed and the couch kind of takes over and you are sunken down in the couch and it's like, how in the world am I going to get out of this couch? If you have it secure, a firm seat, it makes it a lot easier to get up. Any questions about the bedroom?
No questions.
No? Okay. Let's move on to the kitchen. In the kitchen, oftentimes you want to have, what happens in the kitchen, you have these huge cabinets and maybe there's pots and pans you use once or twice a year, or special holiday plates or dishes that you use once or twice a year. So maybe those things are high up in the cabinets, but the things you use every day, your everyday pots and pans, your everyday plates, things that you eat every day, your cans, your fruits, your vegetables, having all of those things at counter level within easy reach. You don't want to be climbing up every day trying to grab whatever. So everyday items, kind of waist level. Again, using those reachers, investing in a very inexpensive set of reachers. You can grab maybe a can that's a little bit higher. But ideally, you're going to ask a friend, a relative, a spouse, a grandchild, if a holiday's coming up and you want to make your special soup or have your special place settings, have them take those down for you so that you aren't climbing up on ladders and trying to get those. If you absolutely must use a step stool, use one that is very stable, ideally with a handrail. People sometimes, my first slide said, no throw rugs. Sometimes if you're one that loves to cook and you're always cooking and you're standing there at the sink and you're washing everything and water spills, and I know I already encouraged you to clean up the spills as fast as you can, but sometimes having that rubber mat right in front of the sink area while you're actually cooking can prevent slipping when it's wet. again, you need to know yourself and what you're doing, and if you're just standing on that mat. But again, if you're running back and forth between the oven and the sink, that could potentially, again, be something you're going to trip over, and it may not be the right thing for you. Anybody else have any suggestions or anything that worked well for them in the kitchen? Any questions?
No, we don't have questions.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just move on just to just some general information. Pets are wonderful. I think they have a great medical and social benefit, but knowing where your pets are, they can also be trip hazards, toys. If I've got a large dog, you know, when he drinks, water's everywhere. So making sure that I'm cleaning up the water around his bowl from when he takes big drinks and slops it all over the kitchen. Wanted to share another story. I know my son's home from college during the COVID stuff, and his roommate has a dog, and great dog. Again, a large dog, fuzzy. I didn't know he liked to lay froggy style, so he had his legs extended back, and I went to step over him, not realizing his legs were extended. And when I realized his legs were extended, I took an extra big step so I wouldn't step on his paw and hurt him. And I ended up kind of not falling, but falling into the stove, gave myself a bruise. So something simple like that. Also, just being in a hurry, taking your time. So many people trip and fall running to get the phone before the answering machine picks it up or before voicemail picks it up, or running to the door. You know, if UPS or FedEx or Amazon or whoever is dropping off a package, they'll leave it, or if they need a signature, they will wait till you get there. There's really no need to run for the door because, again, if you're in a hurry or in a rush, you end up tripping and falling. Consider as well, sometimes, you know, I'll say, well, I only want to make one trip in from my car from grocery shopping, and I'll try to load up all of my groceries, the bags on, you know, in my arms, just so I have to make the one trip into the house. Well, that isn't probably the smartest thing I could be doing because I'm putting myself at risk for a fall. I should always have one hand free, so in case I do fall or if I trip, I have a hand free to brace myself. If I have my handful of groceries and I go to fall, I don't have anything to brace, and I'll often end up, we see people with a lot of head injuries. But if you have your hand, you know, you can protect yourself a little bit more. The picture here, you know, with different types of stools, a lot of people are having the islands and island seating, and the stools tend to slip. So pushing straight down and straight up so that the stools don't flip. Again, considering keeping a telephone close by, keeping it in your pocket so you always have it with you wherever you go. Another story I wanted to share with you that happened to me, I shared with you that we had the new floors put in. Well, as they're working on the stairs, my shoes were upstairs. Mailman was coming. I wanted to hurry up and run out and put something in the mailbox. My daughter's shoes were laying there, and they weren't your traditional flip-flops. It was more of a dress type sandal, I guess, that had the hole that just went around the big toe. So I slid those on quickly to run out to the mailbox. I had no business doing that. It was a smooth surface. I didn't know how the shoe worked because it was kind of like a flip-flop, but so it was sliding off my foot before I even got out the door. And I ended up falling down in the driveway and gave myself 2 skinned knees because I had my mail and I was going for the mailbox. So as I said, so many of these things truly are preventable if you just take a moment and think about what it is you're doing, and if you have the proper equipment installed, the proper lighting, if things are in good repair, if you just take your time and use common sense, a lot of times the falls won't happen. Here on this slide, just taking your time, getting in the habit of moving at speeds that are safe for you, your energy level, and your ability, keeping yourself hydrated, not rushing to answering the phone or the door, and ask for help. Whether it's getting in and out of a bed, chair, toilet, and if you are feeling shaky, weak, dizzy, or lightheaded, maybe that's the day you don't go to the grocery store because you just aren't up to it. And I think my last example here is my aunt. She was actually just released from the hospital last week. She had a urinary tract infection, and I had encouraged her to drink a lot while she was on her antibiotic, flush it out. Well, she actually drank so much, and she has high blood pressure. So the combination of her hypertension meds and all the water she was drinking, she actually bottomed out her sodium level. A normal level is 125 to 135, and she was all the way down to 115. She ended up passing out and had to go to the hospital to get her electrolytes back in balance. So knowing your body and what it's saying to you, and I wish she would have recognized how she was feeling and would have called somebody before she tried to go out that day. She's fine now, she's home, but again, most things are preventable. Any questions about just general information about falls? I know the other 4 seminars, the 2 from Monday and Tuesday, and then the 2 coming up still are going to address a lot more issues.
Absolutely. We did have one comment from Melissa who mentioned that walking around with a pet is better than trying to walking around a pet is better than trying to step over them. And that dogs always try to get up as she's trying to step over them, and she's almost fallen a few times.
Excellent. Yes. I think having a pet too, the health benefits of staying active. And if you don't have a pet, just doing as much as you can, just going out and walking, taking advantage of different, appropriate exercise classes. Tai Chi, yoga have all been proven to be a benefit with balance and coordination and strengthening. So anything you can do to stay active is really important. The last slide that I have here are just some additional references. There's some really good resources out there through the CDC, the NIH, the Ohio Department of Health. The checklist that's on the website, take the time to go through it and make some modifications to your home if you can. Try to make it as safe as possible so that you don't fall. That's all I have. It's been wonderful talking with you today. This is my first webinar where I haven't had somebody in the room talking to, so it's just been kind of odd. But if you have any questions or issues or concerns, please reach out to Tia, and she can get in touch with me, and I'll try to answer any questions I can.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Anne. We really enjoyed this presentation. And I hope the rest of you tuned in enjoyed the information that Anne shared with us. She shared some really good tips about how you can stay safe around your home. As a follow-up to this presentation, as Anne mentioned, we'd like to invite you to participate in big step number 6, which is to complete a home hazard walkthrough and complete the checklist. And so if you go to the steadyu.ohio.gov website, the same page you registered for this webinar, for big step number 6, you'll see the follow-up information that Ann referenced. So you'll have a checklist where you can go and use that checklist, go room by room, and see if there are any hazards in your home. So if you missed any part of the webinar today, or you heard some information you think will be valuable to share with a friend or a family member, the webinar was recorded and it will be available on the SteadyU website very soon. So I'm sorry, we'd like to invite you to join us tomorrow as we move on to big step number 7 and 8, where we will hear from Carmen Clutter from the Ohio Department of Aging, and she will be talking to us about how to eat well to prevent falls. So be sure to visit the SteadyU website to register for that webinar if you have not already, and you'll also be able to find more information and resources to help you to prevent falls. So again, we'd like to thank you for joining us this afternoon. If you have any follow-up questions or comments, feel free to shoot us an email and we will get back to you. Enjoy your afternoon and we will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Ann.